First of all, we are greatly honored to be visited with our brother, His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and the government and business leaders who accompanied him on this trip. Mr. President, we are very pleased to host you and trust that you and the delegation have had an enjoyable stay here in Rwanda. Rwanda and Nigeria are two friendly nations with firm bilateral cooperation, and I take the opportunity to thank the government of Nigeria and the President for the long-standing support provided to Rwanda through the Nigerian Technical Aid Corporation and Technical Aid Corps and many other activities and people behind them. We have had, as you are told, an opportunity to discuss matters of importance to our two countries and our continent. The cooperation agreement which you have witnessed today will further strengthen our partnership and benefit the citizens of both our countries. Mr. President, the people of Rwanda and Nigeria and the people of Nigeria share similar aspirations to overcome the past and create for themselves a prosperous and dignified future. We also share a commitment to work for a stable, dynamic Africa that contributes meaningfully to the global economy. I look forward to continue working with you, Mr. President, and your government to achieve our respective national goals and a common vision for our continent. So thank you, Mr. President, and I invite you to make remarks as you wish.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, my brother, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, very senior government functionaries, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, let me use this privilege of talking to the media to sincerely thank the President, the government, and the good people of this great country for the warm reception accorded me and my entourage since our arrival in this beautiful city yesterday. Let me appreciate the President for personally coming to the airport to receive me. It's quite unusual. In most cases, the foreign minister would have received me, of course, then we would have discussed today, but he came personally. Let me also use this opportunity to express the condolences of your brother and sisters from Nigeria on the untimely death of the Honorable Minister of State in charge of local government. In fact, as we were preparing to come, we got to the sad news. And it's quite devastating, but we know that God knows best. So for the good services he has rendered to this great country and the world, God will have a place for her. And let me also thank Mr. President for personally coming for my inauguration, the 29th of May. Of course, you are all aware that that was the day I assumed office as the President of Nigeria. I think you traveled and you came back that very day. So it was quite strenuous for you to make that journey, so let us appreciate that. But basically, people may want to know why should the President of Nigeria visit Rwanda by this time? From the communique read out to you, it's obvious my comment is principally to further tighten the brotherly relationship between the two countries and between myself and President Kagame. You know, the world is becoming smaller and smaller, the concept of the global village. Every day the world, the boundaries get thinner and thinner. And leaders must continue to talk, must continue to discuss, to see how we can make sure we accelerate economic development within our two states. I came with few businessmen, but we'll have more robust business meeting later on. And I'm quite happy that we have Nigerians who are doing businesses in Rwanda. We are encouraging Rwandans, of course some people are there, to even do more. We are talking about your airline having opportunity to fly into most of our cities to encourage that level of interaction. So we're here to discuss issues bordering on Africa, bordering our two nations, bordering on Africa as a continent, and of course our own regional issues. Though we have sub-regions within the continent, we have ECOWAS, that's West African sub-region. We are currently in Nigeria here, we have East Africa, we have Central Africa, we have North America. But Africa is one continent. We have common problems. We always say that problems, whether they are diseases, whether they are emanating from criminal elements, and so on and so forth, don't respect our international boundaries and borders. They don't need visas to move from one country to the other. They don't need the permission of Interior Ministry or immigration people. So the two nations must cooperate, and that is why we are here. We have some broad range of agreements, but as a nation, even as an individual, you cannot do everything the same day. Our officials, our technical people are looking at some of these things that we can do very well, and especially things bordering on our economies, because for you to do anything, be it health, be it education, be it infrastructure, you must have a good economic base. So especially these areas of cooperation that will help the growth of the economies of these two countries. These are areas we concentrate and expand from there. Of course, that means that at the political level too, the relationship must be robust. Let me also thank Mr. President. I received your High Commissioner on Tuesday, that before I left Nigeria yesterday. Before this time, there was no former embassy in Nigeria, but now there is a full-fledged Rwandan embassy in Abuja. So we are quite happy. That will help the political relationship between the two countries. So my brothers and sisters, especially the gentlemen of the press, we thank you for honoring us by coming to interact with us this morning. I thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll have a few questions from the press. Please introduce yourself and the media organization you work for. Shaka.
Thank you. My name is Shaka Karma. I work with the Rwanda Focus newspaper. My question actually is for both heads of state, Your Excellency President Kagame and Your Excellency President Jonathan. We would like to get an elaboration of the exact line items that might be involved in the bilateral trade issues between Nigeria and Rwanda, especially keeping in mind the big geographical distance between the two countries. What exactly would we expect as business people exchanging from Rwanda to Nigeria and vice versa? And secondly, this one goes to the Nigerian President, Your Excellency, Mr. Jonathan. You have just mentioned that Rwanda has opened an embassy in Nigeria. When is Nigeria opening one in Kigali? Thank you.
Okay, let me start with the first one, which is very simple. And it is made simple by the fact that I don't actually have to go into details, because the details are in the communique, and they can also be provided by the ministers. The presidents deal with the big issues, not with the... So for us, we've opened the way. We've given everything the blessing necessary. So it's up to those who support us to go into details with the media and so on. So my work is as simple as that.
Thank you. I really concur with what my brother Paul has said. But basically, if you want us to highlight some of the issues, you know the NEPAD, as a part of the African Union, makes countries who belong to that body to compare notes. Because just like individuals, just like maybe in a classroom setting where you have somebody may be good in mathematics, another person may be good in chemistry, English, and so on and so forth. Two countries, no matter the relative size, some countries excel in some areas by their own ingenuity and creativity and others. So when you compare notes, you see the areas of cooperation. Rwanda has done very well, areas of public health and so on. These are areas that Nigeria can also emulate and see these success stories. Nigeria is also trying in terms of probably space issues. These are areas we are cooperating. We are just talking about issues of BASA, bilateral air service agreements. How will the Rwandan line, will it go to Lagos? Will it go to Abuja? Will it be landing in Port Harcourt or Kaduna? These issues, it also links up with your second question. You also ask, when will Nigeria formally open embassy in Rwanda? Now, somebody from here who wants to come to Nigeria for business or for some meeting has to go to Uganda to get a visa. And that's not ideal. There are some of the things we discuss. We may not give you detail, just like Mr. President said. But already we discussed on these issues. Our ministers have also discussed. I wouldn't want to make a pronouncement, but I told Mr. President that, for example, I'm not comfortable that somebody from Rwanda wants to come to Nigeria to do business, and we're encouraging them to do that. We'll have to travel. Yes, it's good to encourage people to travel to our neighboring countries. But why not, even if we have no embassy here, why can't we have a different way of that person getting a visa without necessarily leaving Rwanda and enter Nigeria, do business, and come back? I also, in fact, I informed Mr. President already, I directed my Interior Minister. We are working on different visa policies, pending when we'll formally open. But I promise we'll open an embassy here. In fact, it is one of the recommendations from the Foreign Minister. But when? I cannot tell you we are doing this year. Definitely it is not in our budget this year. But it's something that we must do. But details, I may not want to go into details, but the foreign ministers and other ministers will brief you. I'm here with the foreign minister, I'm here with trade and investment minister, I'm here with the information minister, because the area of trade and investment is quite critical. And we have a lot of discussions in areas where we are going to collaborate.
Julia?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Juliana Taiwo. So my question goes to President Jonathan. Sir, how will you assure investors Nigeria is safe when you had to host the independence celebration at the presidential villa, not the traditional Eagle Square?
Thank you. I think it's good that you asked this question, because I read some stories from the media, but Nigeria is a big country. We have about 60 political parties, 60 something. Few of them have been arrested after the general elections. And in a political dispensation, when you are playing party politics, anything done by the ruling party is always politicized. If you go to the left, people will ask, why do you go to the left? If you go to the right, they will say, why do you go to the left? If you stay at the center, they will say, question you. So that is what happens. So things are always distorted. Nigeria is very safe. Only, was it Monday that I received Bill Gates? Or it was Tuesday or Monday? Yes, this week. I received Bill Gates, one of the, if not the richest, one of the richest people in the world. So if Bill Gates, who is so rich, could come to Nigeria and move freely, that tells you that Nigeria is safe. And there is a very, very wrong notion that's been painted that we celebrated our 1st October, which is our national day, in the State House. We did not celebrate it in the State House. We had a low-key celebration. And no country, you are journalists, you can tell me, no country that celebrates their national day every year. No country. Even an individual from the age of 40 and above, if you celebrate your birthday every year, nobody comes again, nobody values it.
That's true.
Nobody, there's no nation that celebrates their national day, be it Independence Day or whatever, every year, no. So, and you see, what happened is that Nigeria was 50 last year. So 1st of October 2010, we celebrated our 50th anniversary. And of course, for you to celebrate your national day, you must invite your colleague heads of states and governments. If you are not doing that, then you are celebrating the low key, which we did. Last year, 1st of October, 50th anniversary, we celebrated, and so many heads of states from all over the world attended with very senior dignitaries. Then 29th of May this year was my inauguration. We invited all heads of states and government again, and if you looked at the photographs, almost like an AU meeting. Most African heads of states were there. 1st October this year, you want to call them again. It would not be fair. So we, as a nation, and even in the history of Nigeria, there is no time that any president celebrates the National Day every year. And it is the history of other countries. You take flashpoints, just like in your own birthday. Maybe when you're a young person, you could celebrate every day. But at the age of 40 and above, probably 40, 45, 50, 60, you begin to give gaps of about 5 years interval to make it meaningful. So what will happen in this year? We say, no, this year we are not going to celebrate it. 2011, no. We took that decision long ago. I think the confusion is that towards the independence, an individual or a group of individuals from a militia organization called MEND, that is an organization based in the Niger Delta, where we come from. And we know with the amnesty program, with challenges in Niger Delta have always been taken care of. So either one individual used the name of MEND to issue a threat that nobody should go to Eagle Square. When we took that decision that we were not going to celebrate, I think that was what is confusing people. So we did not plan to celebrate. Not necessarily because of funds. Yes, you can also conserve funds, because if we were celebrate to invite heads of state and government, it's a bit expensive. But the primary reason was not necessarily to conserve funds, but we cannot celebrate every year. And let me use this opportunity to tell you, and indeed my countrymen and who may be discussing this issue, even next year we are not celebrating it. 2012 we are not celebrating it. It will be low-key. 2013 we are not celebrating it. It will be low-key. But 2014 we'll celebrate it. And the reason why we must celebrate 2014 is because 2014, Nigeria will be 100 years old as a nation. The northern part of Nigeria and southern part of Nigeria came together, what we call amalgamation, in 1914. So by 2014 will be 100 years, the centenary celebration. So we are going to combine that centenary celebration that took place, I think about January or so, with the National Day that is 1st of October, so that we will celebrate it. And also, this present government I'm heading will end 29th of May, 2015. So we'll not get to 1st October. And at least it's good we celebrate one of our national days before we leave. So 2014 we'll celebrate it. 2013, low-key. 2012, low-key, just like we did. But what happened that day, if you watched it, was that, in the State House in Nigeria, I don't know whether it's a tradition here, every Monday, there is a change of guard, the brigade of guard, the soldiers that protect the presidency. They have different names in different countries. In Nigeria, we call them brigade of guards. They are designed to protect the presidency. Every Monday, they change duties. Another group will come. And for you to be in the brigade of guard, every time those soldiers must be at alert. So the change of duty is always a ceremony that is done every Monday. And people go to witness it. So when I came on board, we felt that these years that we are not going to celebrate the National Day, let us invite some people to join us and watch the change of guard, by the Brigade of Guards. That is a routine parade that happens every Monday. Well, I will invite you to come next Monday so you watch it. We'll not be celebrating National Day on Monday. When you come to State House, you will watch it. So what we did was that change of guards. It was not a National Day. Go and watch the video again. It was not the kind of parade you witness on a National Day. We'll do it also next year, 2012. We'll do it in 2013, so no one-man person should not deceive you again. Well, so that is what happened. It was not that we shifted National Day parade to State House. Find out from my brother, the president of Rwanda, whether we invited him for. We would have invited him if we were to celebrate. Did you see any leader from outside Nigeria? Nobody. That tells you that we never invited people. If we had invited people, you would have seen our guests. And probably for security reasons, and we are relocating it, you would have moved with all these foreign visitors to that location. You did not see any foreign visitor. So it was something that was being manipulated by people who have some interest. But let me use this opportunity to clear that. We did not run away because one man's person. Those are threat letters, you know, they are always in the air. There is no time that they don't issue those. But Nigeria is safe for business. Bill Gates just left, and every day you have very senior businessmen and women coming to Nigeria for one thing or the other. President,
let me add something to that. What you have said that is important and in a wider context. There are so many kinds of risks all over the world. There is not a single country that I know of that doesn't contend with these kinds of risks. And it's up to these countries and different places to manage them and always, lower the risks. Therefore, to just pick on one small thing and the people keep hyping it up and playing it around, sometimes it's just diversionary. And I think I agree with you. If there are any risks that people want to talk about in Nigeria, they are the same risks we have seen all over the world in different places that different countries have had to manage, especially in the recent times we've seen it. All kinds of risks, all kinds of places. We just have to come together and deal with these issues and work together and hope that some of these things will go down. So in Rwanda, we have all kinds of things we have to deal with. In Nigeria, they have things, other places. But I think the most important thing is to keep focus on the real issues that matter to the lives of our people and our countries and the continent. And there are people who single out small things and keep hyping them and playing them, and it really doesn't help all of us. So I get your point.
Can we get a question from foreign press? Steve?
Hello, I'm Steve Terrell with Agence France Presse. My question is for both of your excellencies, if that's okay. The major crisis right now in Africa, in Somalia, the drought, the conflict there, we're wondering if you've discussed that at all and what the way forward is.
Yes, we naturally discuss all these issues that affect our countries and our continent, most especially because we always come together and want to put our resources together to bear on these problem areas and try and find expected solutions. For example, Rwanda works very closely with Nigeria on the question of Darfur in Sudan. We've been looking at ways of coming together again and putting our resources together to see what we can do in Somalia or different other places. And it's not just about peace support operations, it's about diplomacy involved, it's about different political efforts that we can mobilize, working together to see how. So naturally that those were points of discussions. As we said, it's not just bilateral that issues that we talked about. It's also how those are affected by other issues beyond what is bilateral, mainly looking at our continent, which is very close to our hearts and which affects the same problems that affect our people. When you have problems in Nigeria, it just doesn't stop in Nigeria. When you have problems in Rwanda, it doesn't stop in Rwanda. It has a way of affecting other countries. If you have problems in any other country, it will certainly affect Nigeria or affect Rwanda and so on. So this is the context in which we had these discussions.
Well, my brother president has already answered, just because he said you targeted the question at two of us. So let me just say I concur. And actually, before we even moved into the bilateral discussions that has to do with the relationship between Nigeria and Rwanda, we first of all discussed the general problems we have. And that's a part of my tour. When I leave today, I'm going to Ethiopia. I leave Ethiopia tomorrow to Ghana if I get back to Nigeria. The idea is that we have challenges, but I also know that this is a decade that Africa will gradually move over most of these challenges. We discuss Somalia, I discussed the Horn of Africa, conflict issues, even Eritrea, Ethiopia. So we discussed a number of things, how the countries will come together to see how we can suppress the conflicts. And of course, Rwanda is a country that had a major conflict, and I was quite happy today. After going through the museum, the guide took me through, gave me a bit of the history. It was quite a sad story, but what encouraged me more, like I told Mr. President, is that the country has picked up and is moving, and we're quite happy. So most of these African countries that are having these conflicts, this is a period that all the leaders must come together to see how we will resolve this crisis. We are working on, Nigeria is presently the chair of ECOWAS, and we hold a number of meetings, how the sub-region will manage Ivorian matter, Liberian elections, and so on and so on. So we discuss, and in fact today, this night or tomorrow, I'll have similar talks with the Mele, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. How do we manage conflicts in Africa? Africa should not be known for conflicts. We should begin to move away from these conflicts and talk about economic development.
So last question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Your Excellency, the Nigerian President, my name is Elizabeth Achibong. You've just visited the Memorial Center. We'd like to know what your impression is and what you think Nigeria can actually learn from the Rwandan experience. Thank you.
I just mentioned that I visited the Memorial Center. What you observe, naturally, the genocide is a part of the ugly history, not just of Rwanda, but that of Africa, and indeed the world. Because when during that period, the United Nations plays some role and other people. But this is not a period to apportion blames. Just like you put it, what do we learn? Not just Nigeria. And even my remarks there, as if you read my mind, is that what has been graphically placed there for us and future generations to see. Just like I was told Mr. President, when I visited Israel, and I visited the Holocaust Museum, it's the same feeling that you have. But these are certain bit graphic illustration of what we should learn. And that's what we are talking about, just the question the other gentleman asked. What do we do to reduce conflicts in Africa? Having gone through that, any leader that goes through that, you want to make sure that you don't have conflicts in Africa. These things happen everywhere, but the magnitudes, even in Nigeria during our elections, there were some excesses that led to deaths of innocent people. These things happen, but it was in a smaller scale. when it happens in a very massive scale, it becomes more worrisome, and it helps to rebuild our thinking, make sure that you don't allow such things to happen. You know, Nigeria, we fought a civil war. You are aware, or maybe you were not born then. But these things happen.
Your Excellencies, we've come to the end of the press conference. Thank you very much, and we wish you a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Thank you.